We are following breaking news this hour. We mentioned it, that South Parker Road between Florida and Mississippi closure and those impacts. At least one person was rescued from that fire. It's an apartment complex in Arapahoe County.
Jaleesa Irizarry joins us live from the scene. And Jaleesa, you just got an update minutes ago on the people evacuated.
Yeah, we got an update on numbers here. 8 evaluated on scene. They initially had said 6, but they brought that number up to 8. And 1 person was transported with minor smoke inhalation. No firefighters were injured at this, but there is still a very active scene right now. Let me step out of the shot and give you a view. Firefighters have been coming in and out of the building. We should preface this fire has been contained. So they're right now doing the cleanup process and as well as probably starting the investigation process. But South Metro Fire tells us this started at 5:30 and had started on the first floor of this building and did have some extension to the 2nd and 3rd floor through the walls. They say there is heavy smoke conditions inside. Residents will find out later today if they are able to make it back to their homes. But we did catch up with one resident who tells us this is not the first fire in this building. He says a few months ago a fire started on the other side of the building, and he says those residents still have not been able to get back in their homes. Here's what he had.
It's a nightmare. The fact that I was supposed to wake up and go to work, and now everything I own is trapped in that apartment, and all I have is hope that I'm going to be in there by later tonight to acquire important documents or things that I need.
Cold has definitely been a challenge here. The parking lot is now an ice skating rink given the fact that there is so much water that was used in this fire. Fire crews are actually putting out some de-icer or ice melt, I should say, to make sure that these residents who are coming by are trying to do so safely. We have seen a number of residents come in and out a little bit. So it looks like they're at least letting some of them get some of their belongings as this investigation continues on. We should also add that there were 2 rescues in this instance. Apparently a sheriff's deputy actually rescued one person right at the start of the fire, the first crew on scene, and then there was a ladder rescue as well. Again, expect to see emergency vehicles out here for a long time today as they investigate this situation. Corey and Erica.
Yeah, we just saw Sky 9 leaving the scene, but just moments ago it was still quite a scene there with a lot of fire trucks and lights, and as you can see, still a lot of firefighters there, so it's going to be like that for a while. Jaleesa, thank you so much for the update. It is a new era in Broncos country. The team officially has a new coach with Sean Payton.
So many people have already been sharing their reactions with us this morning. You can see them here. People are excited about this new change. We are too. 9 News reporter Darius Johnson joins us live from Empower Field this hour. Darius, reaction been pouring in from fans.
Yep, reactions slowly pouring in just because another Payton is coming to town. A lot of hope and a lot of excitement that this will kick off, hopefully, a potentially better new season. For the last 60 years, Louisa Van Schoik has been cheering on the Broncos, throwing watch parties regardless of how bad they are. Over the years, she's collected a lot of memorabilia showing her love for the Broncos. She can't even count the hours of games that she's watched. I can tell you that she couldn't even hold back her excitement once her son called to say Sean Payton is coming to town.
We finally got a coach that has experience. I think that he's a strong coach. I think he's going to get everybody down where they should be, not one better than the other. I think he's going to do that. And I think that's what the Broncos need. They got to get that thing together.
So again, there was a lot of excitement just last year about Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson. Of course, a lot of failed spirits after that, but many people are hoping that Payton will reignite the flames into the Broncos. Back to you.
We think he will.
Hopefully he gets butts in the seats, because we saw that there were a lot of people that weren't showing up, a lot of season ticket holders, and then if they were, the tickets were really inexpensive.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. I mean, the fans are resilient, so I'm sure they're going to show up regardless.
Yeah, Broncos country is strong, I must say. Darius, thank you. Payton spent the last year as a studio analyst for Fox Sports. He spent 15 years as the Saints head coach and was coach of the year in 2006. He was suspended for the 2012 season for the scandal known as Bountygate, where the Saints were accused of paying out prizes for injuring opposing players.
Of course, we will be following this story throughout the day and all of the off-season. You can stay up to date on the newest information as it happens by downloading our free 9 News app.
Today, the Federal Reserve is expected to make its 8th rate hike since last March. Economists expect the Fed will hike rates by 1/4%. It's a slowdown from the last increase of 0.5%. The producer price index fell 0.5 percentage point in December, while retail sales were off by a little more than 1%. Both indicate that Fed hikes are pulling down inflation and slowing down consumer demand.
Happening today, Tyree Nichols' family is preparing for his funeral in Memphis. Nichols was killed after he was beaten by 5 police officers. Those officers are now charged with his murder. Today, his family is focusing on remembering his life. Vice President Kamala Harris will be at the funeral today, and civil rights activist and Reverend Al Sharpton is giving the eulogy. Reverend Sharpton is also calling on Congress to pass a police reform bill that failed back in 2021. President Biden is planning to meet with lawmakers about it tomorrow. Many people are just fed up with high Xcel Energy bills, and they're demanding answers.
Yep, this week many got that opportunity to talk directly to the state regulators who approved those rates, and they did not hold back. According to the Colorado Public Utilities Commission, or PUC, gas prices are about 40% higher than they were last year, and with the colder temperatures that we saw in January, customers are likely using more. Natural gas is purchased by Xcel, and that cost is passed down to customers dollar for dollar. At Tuesday's meeting, customers shared their frustrations, and they didn't have much of a response.
Mr. Blank, how can we get answers to our questions? Right now, you are very polite and you are pacifying everybody. How can we get answers to our questions? What form do we have to go through? This is obviously not working.
I don't know what to tell you. We have pending cases in front of us, and we function as judges in those cases, and we are not capable of answering questions in forums like this without prejudicing our ability to decide those future cases.
PUC recommends customers to reach out to the Utility Consumer Advocate. That's a group that represents the public in hearings in front of the commission.